Going on, everybody? Hello, wrestling fans, both hardcore and casual, and this is the best damn wrestling podcast.
Yeah.
Coming, you. That's just never gonna get old for you, is it?
Oh no, you never know when I'm gonna come in. I'm just gonna pop in.
Yeah. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, we coming to you all the way from Wrestling Valhalla. We're your unfiltered, unedited, uncompromising host, Sherrod, and my best friend and cohort, the mad genius and yours, the ranting raven, undisputed, world's
Ha
most
ha
dangerous
ha!
wrestling co-host,
Yeah,
Keith.
the
What's
brutally
up,
honest
dude?
motherfucker on the other side of the microphone. Let's go. Ha
Yeah,
ha.
yeah. You. I feel like you headed towards getting us kicked off the air, but whatever.
It'll be okay.
Anyway, we're doing something different today, man. But before we get into all of that, I just want to take a moment and kind of shout out everybody that's been supporting us. We have grown in leaps and bounds and are still growing. We're not where we want to be, but we're a lot better than we were when we started this thing,
Mhm.
not even a month ago, And
Yeah.
so, shout out to everybody that's gave us love or has subscribed, and we're hoping for more subscribers. Leave comments, leave likes, tell us what you like and don't like. If you disagree, if you don't, we're just fans like you guys, and we just kind of giving y'all our take on it. But we've been pretty excited about the feedback and the things we've heard so far. Well, with that being said, we're gonna jump right into the episode today. We're doing something a little different, man. We're not covering the show. We're not covering a pay per view or anything like that. We're gonna talk about something that's really near and dear to my heart for the last year. And I don't know about yours, but we're doing women's wrestling and everything women's wrestling today. I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. The ladies are doing their thing. They're not being apologetic. They're not being soft with their shit. There's no kind of finesse to it. They just giving it to you. I'm loving what
Yeah,
they're
no
doing.
doubt. Yeah, no, and I mean it's really big right this second because you're talking about Becky Lynch main eventing WrestleMania with Ronda
Yep.
Rousey, and
Yep.
how Charlotte Flair comes into that picture. I'm beyond excited, and it's just shown a big shift from where we were, which we're about to talk about, where we were when we were growing up till today. It's totally different, and I think it's worth covering, man. We really should do an episode on it. And that's what we've decided to do. We always talk about the women and what they're doing specifically in the WWE, but I'm gonna bring up some names today that are not WWE wrestlers that people should check out or may already know, and they're just as good. So again, we'll be covering everybody. So
Yeah,
let's just
it's a
jump right
mixture.
in, man. Yeah,
Yeah, you might hear some people from a popular promotion, then you might hear just some strictly indie wrestlers who are, making a little noise. Or that
right.
I've just watched that I like, or vice versa.
Right. So man, I mean, I guess the best place to start would be when we started really getting into wrestling, which was the Attitude Era, and women wrestlers at that point, and it was different.
Yeah.
Most of them weren't, to a degree, weren't really wrestlers. They were more of valets or managers, or like I think the biggest women wrestlers during that time period for us were Sable,
Yep.
China. Who am I missing? Ivory, Jacqueline. I
Yeah, the whole PMS. Terry Runnels, she wrestled for a little bit.
yeah, she
Molly
did.
Holly. Um,
Trish Stratus and Lita were
Trish
probably
Stratus,
the
Lita.
most legitimate wrestlers that you saw. I think I got to give a shout out to Lita. I'm not a huge fan anymore, for reasons I won't get into on
Oh,
this.
let that go.
What?
Let
No,
that go.
I'm still angry about that. God damn it!
He got over it. That's like 14 years ago.
I don't give a fuck. It broke my heart.
For all y'all that don't know what we're talking about, Sherrod is still very upset behind the Lita and Matt Hardy Edge love triangle thing that
I'm
happened
not
all the way
upset.
to
I'm not
five.
upset about that angle.
No, of course, nobody's upset about the angle. It was great TV, but it was okay. It was a point in her life where she was, being a little hoish. You know, she wanted
Bullshit.
to get scared by Edge in a different way.
Okay. I digress. I'm not. Yeah. All right. But even still, she was good.
Yeah,
Trish Stratus to me before now was probably the best women's wrestler I had seen at that time. She actually could do a little bit of everything. So she was very good when she was wrestling. Technically speaking, hell, from what we seen in Evolution, they're both still really goddamn good. Do you
yeah.
disagree?
Oh no, I don't disagree at all. Trisha
Yeah.
been body right with the yoga. Lita, I'm so glad that Lita can do a moonsault well now. Because at first when she did it in the
It
Royal
looked a
Rumble
little
last year,
dangerous.
she almost killed herself. Oh my
Yeah, it
god!
looked a little dangerous.
I was like, oh shit, Lita, you ready to die?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna say this, and I know people have been saying it. China doesn't get a lot of credit for what she was able to do
Mm-hmm.
as far as wrestling men, and she won an Intercontinental title from Jeff Jarrett, and before
Yeah,
he left, and that's gonna kind of segue into the next thing we're gonna talk about. But she made it look legitimate. Yes, she
yeah.
wasn't the best worker. She wasn't a Charlotte Flair or Ronda Rousey or Becky Lynch or Bailey in terms of notoriety and just being able to steal a show, but she still was a trailblazer and a pioneer, and she did things that she was something nobody had seen before.
You
Do you
didn't see
remember when she
anybody scoop
first came?
slamming guys like that.
Yeah, yeah, with ease. With ease.
Yeah.
When she clotheslined the guy, it was fucking believable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think she needs to be a Hall of Famer. I'm hoping that they do that this year, and it'll actually be long overdue. So, that's my opinion on that. But
I
I
think they're
think
gonna drag that out.
yeah, I think she deserves a little more credit. From what I heard, they're a little on the fence about it because of what she did
On
after
career,
wrestling.
yeah.
Yeah, but you gotta let that go. I mean, I don't think
Man,
that's
they
a.
let Sonny in the damn Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
she's a porn star too. Well, that was
yeah,
before porn. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
tomato,
Um,
tomato.
yeah. Anyway, so, um, I mean, man, so that, and then when you got past that point, you started to get into like the 2000s, and you saw people here and there. Mickey James was somebody that when she came in, she was good.
Yeah,
We had Tori Wilson was there, and like you said, Molly Holly was there. Molly Holly was underrated to me.
very underrated, very underused as well.
Yeah, yeah, Molly Holly was very underrated. I know we're probably gonna miss some people, but we're trying to go back almost 20, 30 years, and that's a long time. But if we miss somebody, again, let us know who we missed. We'd be more than happy to correct it the next time. But yeah, Molly Holly was again underrated. There was Tori Wilson. There was
Stacy Keebler. There was
I don't really consider her a wrestler
I don't
though. She
really
was
consider
more,
Tori
yeah,
Wilson a wrestler either. They were more models that could take it from.
valets, managers. Because at one point she was a manager for somebody, just like Terry Runnels. But Terry Runnels could actually wrestle. But when she came in, she was like with Perry Saturn or whatnot. Because I believe she came from
She
ECW.
well, she was in with Goldust first. Remember, she was married to him.
Yeah, 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 yeah. That's true.
She
That's
used to
true.
be called Marlena. So
Yeah,
then
that's
she had
true.
this thing where her services was just getting offered up to people like the Hardy Boys and stuff like that. You
A
know.
great program came out of that and put tag team wrestling on the map.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know,
Whole purpose
there
of that ladder match.
I know who I forgot about. Remember Tori?
Oh
PX
yeah,
Tori?
yeah,
She was
yeah.
good.
She
Yeah, she
was.
she was she was good. Yeah, she was my childhood crush along with
Oh
Trish
yeah, I
Stratus.
had a crush on her too.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, there was I just had her name, Dawn Marie. I don't know if you remember her, but
She was a
she was in
valet,
ECW
but
with
she did wrestle.
Lance Storm. Yeah, she did here and there. And at that time, man, with most of these ladies we're talking about, you saw a lot of gimmicky matches to be polite. The wet t-shirt spots and the goddamn
Yes.
swimsuits and okay,
That's
yeah,
slow.
calm down. Yeah, calm
Yeah,
down.
that warmed my little adolescent heart, my little kid heart. I didn't know love until I saw a Brian Penning's match.
Yeah, yeah, likewise. And
Oh,
also
we're
it
forgetting
caught.
one person, Jazz. Remember Jazz from ECW? She was in
Yeah,
WWE for a little
yeah,
bit. She was a
yeah,
strong badass too.
yeah.
she was a historic figure.
I'm gonna throw one out there that you may or may not remember, and this is WCW at that time.
Mhm.
Major Guns. She was with the Misfits in Action.
All I remember about her breasts. That's all I looked at on her were her breasts.
Oh
Lived up to her
Jesus.
name.
You,
That's
you
all.
we
Well,
gonna get put
they
off the
had
air.
Daphne. They had Daphne in WCW too. I liked her persona. She was like Nikki Cross, like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'll give you that. I mean, but even at that time, WCW wasn't revolutionizing women's wrestling
Oh,
at that point either. They had a lot of ballet. Stacy Keibler actually started WCW.
yeah, she did.
She was Miss Hancock, if I'm not
Hmm.
mistaken. And I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that was a innuendo reference,
Oh, of
but
course it was.
anyway, yeah. So, but yeah, man, they weren't really going at it a lot. Now, I will tell you, Jacqueline and Ivory were legitimate wrestlers. They
Yes.
were ahead of their
Yes.
time. They could work.
Yes, they
They
could.
could really work. Yeah, they
Two
were
Hall of
ahead of their
Famers
time.
too.
Yeah, no, they could actually wrestle. I mean, and you didn't see a lot of women promos back then. If you did,
No.
it was about like bra and panties and wet t-shirt spots and Playboy covers. It
Yeah.
wasn't wrestling
It
at
was a
that time.
flirty little promo
But
at
that
first.
was also what helped propel the Attitude Era and things that followed. So it's not like it was a bad thing, but it
Hmm.
wasn't wrestling. There was a women's championship, but it wasn't really, it
The
wasn't the
matches
same.
weren't the same caliber as they are now.
Right, exactly. You never would have thought, hey, there's gonna be a women's pay-per-view in
Yeah.
20, 30 years,
Yeah,
which
well,
it counts.
see, Jacqueline and Ivory could work like that, but the people they were working against weren't, inclined to, because
Well,
they were just baby face who just learned.
at that time, a lot of them didn't even consider themselves wrestlers. They
Yeah,
didn't, yeah, they weren't workers. They would
they
tell
was
you
looking to
that.
be valets. Yeah,
Right, exactly. WWE was kind of a springboard for these women into other avenues, or
yeah,
whatnot. And again, the game changed with Trish Stratus and Lita. It started there to me.
yeah.
And then that's when you started to see this next crop of people. So you saw Beth Phoenix. You
Hmm.
saw
Mickey
oh God,
James.
Mickey James, who was great. You saw
Hmm.
Michelle McCool, who was
Yep.
great. Who am I missing? I'm about to
Uh,
call her name, but I want to spend
Layla
some time
came
on her.
there, but she wasn't that great. Layla came. She wasn't that
Gail
great.
Kim was great.
Oh,
She
amazing,
was ahead of her time, and they
amazing.
just fucked over her. They basically shat on her, and I hate that.
Yeah,
She was good. Then you got the Bella twins that eventually came in, and they are here. You got to give them some credit, but then I'm just. Eh, eh.
hmm, hmm,
But I think the new revolution, the real revolution started, the one that we
yeah,
know today
yeah.
with this lady here. And we probably about to spend some time on her. AJ Lee.
Yes, yes.
AJ Lee was phenomenal. She was just as good as CM Punk was when he was there. And she could cut a promo. I'll never forget when she told the Bella twins that talent isn't sexually transmitted. That
Yeah, and
was
then saying like I didn't get where I was because I sucked up to the right people. Oh my god, I was like,
Yeah,
why
no,
you have to take their
she could
food
cut
like
a
that?
promo. Yeah,
Yeah,
man. And do you remember that submission hold she had, the Black
the
Widow?
widows, Black Widow,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, dude.
amazing,
No, she was legitimate, and her character when she played the little crazed
crazy
wrestler.
love, crazy
Yeah,
person. Yeah, yeah,
that was that, and then that was the whole thing when she was just vicious. I'm gonna be honest. I think AJ kind of left because there was really nobody that could hold a candle to her at that time.
well, she had did all she could do. I mean, she was Divas champion, longest running Divas champion, if I'm not mistaken. At the time she left before they gave it to Nikki Bella. And she was putting on matches, but you're right. It wasn't a lot of people that could hold the candle to her. I remember AJ Lee starting when NXT first started. When NXT was just a competition show that they showed for 1 hour on like Sci-Fi. And,
Yeah.
and I remember AJ Lee. She started with Caitlyn, who was also good. She's a former champion. She was good. It was AJ Lee, Caitlyn, Naomi. They started together back when NXT
Naomi,
was first starting up.
remind me about Naomi.
Naomi, that's Feel the Glow.
Sounds familiar. I
She's
think I'm with
wrestling
you.
today.
I said I'm with you.
Oh,
Fuck, it took me a second. Goddamn.
God, the
Oh,
hell? How
look,
you don't know
look.
Naomi?
God damn it. You asking me to remember a lot of shit.
She's presently wrestling. Anyway, they started together and stuff back in FCW and NXT when NXT first started, and they were all good. They were all good in their own ways, and they were starting to, they slowly started this revolution off the
Right.
back of those three.
Yeah, I mean, and then you kind of started slowly segueing into what we got now. Now, hold on. One name that I didn't mention, and she's re-emerging to me. She has really rededicated, redefined herself. Natalia. And Natalia was
Mm,
probably the first female second generation wrestler we saw around this time.
yeah,
Because she's from the Heart Dungeon. She's the only female wrestler out of there.
to
She's
come out of it, yeah.
actually, yeah, Jim Anvil Neidhart's daughter, Bret Hart's niece, the
Mm-hmm.
British Bulldog's niece.
Oh,
She's
Heart's niece,
wrestling royalty.
all that,
Yeah, yeah, she's wrestling royalty, and
yeah,
she's been great now, but she was good back then. They just
yeah.
weren't using her.
They were using her as somewhat of a valet for the New Heart Foundation with Tyson Kidd and D.H. Smith, David Boy
Yeah,
Smith Jr.
yeah,
And
great tag team, by the way.
yeah, they were great tag team, underutilized and stuff. But personal things with D.H. Smith kind of derailed that, and Tyson
Yeah,
Kidd
yeah.
career and injury. But yeah, Natalia, I'll call her Miss Consistent because she's
She
always
more than
been.
consistent. I think she should be in the same conversation with the horsewomen and Becky Lynch and
Yeah,
Oscar. She's one of the top five.
yeah.
I would say
I
probably
think she
top
just
10
need.
workers.
Yeah, I think she just need the title runs to like really solidify that because she had I think she won a championship 2 times. She won the Divas and she won the women's championship, I believe.
And
And
she's also the trainer of the main eventer at WrestleMania,
yep,
Ronda Rousey.
Ronda
So
Rousey.
you got to give her credit for that.
Yep.
I think that's what she's doing now. She's more of like an ambassador. She's starting to hit that ambassadorship role and getting people over. She don't have to win everything, but she can be somebody that you can use to say, okay, hey, we need to try to make these two people or this person look relevant if we put them with you. She's really good. I like her. So, but no,
Yeah,
you
I
went
love
from
Natty.
that. Yeah, you went from that to basically now. I mean, Paige. Oh God.
Yes.
Uh, whew,
She
yeah,
shook the world when she stepped in.
yeah. Charlotte Flair.
Hmm.
The closest thing, I'm gonna say this every time I talk about Charlotte Flair, the closest thing to Ric Flair you will ever see. I don't care how many men come in or have been there. I don't care how good they are. Nobody can do what Ric Flair does but her. And as far as making people better by wrestling with them, running programs with them, being able to make everybody and everything relevant. She's charismatic. She can cut a promo. She has the demeanor. She is legit to me. She's legitimate. It's not even a question. But anyway, yeah,
Of course. And she
You
has
had
to be.
her.
She learned from the man himself.
Yeah, no, literally. And
Yeah.
you
She
have
paid attention.
her. You have Becky Lynch, of course, who's I mean, just yeah. Becky Lynch like 90% of the reason we probably having this conversation. You know,
Yep.
Sasha Banks, who for a time was just as hot as Charlotte. Do you remember the Hell in a Cell matches they did and that whole little program when they were on Raw?
Yeah, how they had that match that went all the way into the crowd and stuff. Yeah, they They were
Yeah,
killing.
no, you had Bailey, who again does not get enough credit for how good and consistent she
Yeah,
really is. You know, like that crop of people started this, and when they came in, it was like, what the fuck? Like, holy
yeah.
shit!
This is
Wait, these
something
girls,
new.
yeah, they're having what I don't know if you've seen it, but I watched that match between Natalia and Charlotte on NXT for the women's
Mm-hmm.
title with
Mm-hmm.
Ric Flair and Bret Hart out there, and
Yeah,
that was one of the best fucking matches I had ever seen. I
it was
also
great.
watched Bailey and Sasha on NXT, and
Which one?
when Sasha was the heel, I think it was the
It might have been
God damn it,
Brooklyn.
it
It's
could have been
for Brooklyn.
Brooklyn, but that match was great. That's that. I mean, that you started seeing that early on, and you like, we might have something here. And even at that point, I don't think people thought it would get to the level it's at today.
Huh?
But you were like, okay, this is different. And then they come to the main roster and they started tearing it up. And
Yeah,
again, they're having matches that women have never had, and they're not gimmick matches. These are legitimate
yeah.
wrestlers, you know. And that I think that kind of started it from there, man. And now you at a stage where, I mean, I've asked this question on Twitter. I think we've talked about it on a previous episode. Like it because it's so they're so hot, and now you got women's pay per view. I'm gonna be honest. I hope they do Evolution again this year because it
They
was
have to.
fucking awesome. Yeah, I hope they do Evolution again this year. You got the Mae Young Classic where you just got welts of talent coming out.
Mhm.
I mean, and you got Oscar that came over from Japan, and Kairi Sane that came over from Japan.
Hero
The
Shirai.
Japanese women are just as good as the ones that, it's crazy. Yeah, Io Shirai and Mia Yim and Bianca Belair. Now you got so much talent that you don't really know what to do.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's amazing. And now I gotta ask you, because of this Becky Lynch thing, do you think that we may have intergender wrestling at some point? I know it's not in the best of taste, but like I don't know if you know who she is, but I watched and I'm definitely being a mark at this second for her. Tessa Blanchard,
I've seen her in Impact Wrestling. Yeah,
Impact.
I've seen her. I've seen her.
If you don't know who Tessa Blanchard is, people check her out. She was at All In with Chelsea Green, who was also great, and the other two women, and did the fucking Fatal Four Way. That's kind of when I started to discover who she was. Because I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a big Impact person, but like I was like, holy fuck, is that Tully Blanchard's daughter? And then she comes out and I see Tully Blanchard and Magnum TA, and I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
She's very fucking good. I don't know why she's not in WWE. I've heard from some people that knew who she was that I talked to, that the reason she isn't is because her dad and the way that ended with WWE, so she hasn't
That makes
decided.
sense.
Yeah, but I mean, even still, man, she's a talent. But anyway, I posted something on Twitter, and it was Tessa Blanchard and Pentagon in the ring together having a chop fest.
Yeah.
And it was epic. And I'm like, and I tweeted, are we seeing the rise of intergender wrestling? And of course, there was the Nia Jax spot in the men's Royal Rumble, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because it was kind of cartoonish, but it was also a trailblazing moment. At the same time, you got Becky Lynch, who's so fucking white hot that she's out talking and outdrawing the men,
Yeah.
including Cena,
Yeah.
and including Brock Lesnar and AJ Styles. She is legitimately their best wrestler right this second. And you gotta ask yourself, if she's that hot and everything, and I know it's kind of taboo and they don't really like doing it because they're a publicly traded company now. It's not the Attitude Era, but could we possibly maybe in some near future see a women's Universal Champion or a women's WWE Champion, or do you just think that that would be in bad taste?
I think that would be in bad taste for me because the simple fact, they spent so much time the past couple of years building this women's division up, and to switch over, I don't really see it really. I mean, being effective. I would like for them to stay in their own. You know, they getting their own pay per view. I would like to see them probably get more pay per views, maybe more
No,
than one a year.
watch this. One of my dreams is to maybe see them, because they have so much talent, branch off and have their own show.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that something that's out of the that's asking too much, or am I just?
As with Vince McMahon there, yeah, that's asking too much. He not gonna let that go. Because
I
if
think that's
they're
a
if they're
Triple H
drawing like
idea.
they're drawing, he's not gonna let them go. That's giving up some viewership, you know, and
No, no,
they
no.
bring a lot of views.
It's still WWE and under that umbrella, but it's just the women of WWE and their own shows, their own pay-per-views, everything.
Maybe a 1 hour show that's kind of like that plays on Wednesdays or Thursdays or something like that. Maybe
Right, right, right,
Fridays.
right.
Maybe something like that.
Okay, so the intergender thing, I'm just it's something that's coming up all of a sudden, and I'm just wondering. I know that they probably, like, people were kind of like when Nia Jax got RKO'd in 619, and it's
I
just
laughed
like
my
I
ass
can't.
off.
Yeah, well, yeah, and again, most people would say that's in bad taste. It condones men hitting women.
Hmm.
Again, it's wrestling. I think I've said that in the last episode we've done. It's wrestling. Like, you got to kind of suspend the disbelief, but again, they're publicly traded. I don't think that's something, and that might not. You may or may not see that happen again. Now I
Yeah.
know it used to. Stone Cold used to stunner women. The Dudley Boys used to put women through tables. It went on and on and on. But that was a different time. But I mean, okay, so no to intergender wrestling,
Yeah,
but
it's just not the right climate for it right now with everything going
right,
on and
right.
stuff.
No, I don't disagree. No to intergender wrestling, but what about them main eventing major pay per views?
Oh, of
And
course.
we can start right now with fucking WrestleMania 35. I think, again, you go with the top draw, and your top draw right now is a woman. It
Yep.
shouldn't be a question. She is the best draw that they have. It's not fucking Brock. It's not Seth Rollins. No offense to Seth Rollins, he's just not the
He's very
draw
good, but
right this
yeah,
second. No, he's not the
you're not
draw
gonna have a
right this
bigger match
second.
than that.
Yeah, no, definitely. As far as putting asses in seats, which is what the whole thing is about in the first place, is not.
Yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm almost to the point to where I'm saying yes, and maybe not just WrestleMania. I think you need to look at it going forward. Whoever the best program is, male or female, should main event that pay per view.
Yeah, yeah, they should. They should. I felt like the women's Royal Rumble match should have ended Royal Rumble. If you
I
want to
do
ask me,
not disagree. I don't
it was way
disagree with
better
that.
than men's.
Well, they're outperforming the men right now. To me, WWE has stayed relevant, not so much because of the men. You've had a couple men that have had something to do with that, and Daniel Bryan, AJ Styles, Seth Rollins, and of course the guys on NXT. But at the same time, you've had, I think, more of a contribution from Charlotte and Becky and their feud this year, and the women's evolution pay-per-view. And now you got the women's tag team tournament and the women tag titles coming out. And of course, the four horsewomen angle. There's always been something else that the women are pushing. And now they're tearing the houses down on everything that they touch. If you put two women in the ring together, and here's the kicker, I don't think it matters who you put in there. Granted, some women are going to be a lot more talented and better than others, and we're about to talk about that. But if you put Mandy Rose or Sonya Deville or Lacey Evans or Bianca Belair or Shayna Baszler, or the list goes on, you could put them almost in those same spots. Maybe not at the spots where Charlotte and Becky are right now, but as far as tag team division, as far as like contenders, and you still would get a great viewership, I think, because they all do great shit. And you
Yeah,
still got you still got up and comers in Casey Canizaro, Mia Yim, Io Shirai, Tegan Knox, if she ever gets healthy and comes back, which she should. She was in the Mae Young Classic until she tore ACL. So
Yeah, that was
hopefully a
heartbreaking.
speedy recovery to her. She's good. Tony Storm in NXT UK, Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. It doesn't. They got so many other people that you gotta start saying, okay, we got to grow this particular brand. We
Mm-hmm.
gotta show that we're willing to push them, and if they are the hottest draw at that time, that's who we go with.
Yeah.
Men be damned, I think. And I think it's time for that. Even the legends, Mick Foley is a big advocate for women's wrestling. The
Mm-hmm.
Rock has been an advocate for what Becky Lynch is doing, and Lance Storm, I believe, on Twitter, and Bubba Ray Dudley or whatnot. Everybody's saying the same thing. The women are drawing. They're doing better segments. They're doing better promos. They know how to get heat. When one of them is a heel, you legitimately hate them in that moment, and then when they turn babyface, you legitimately love them in that moment. They're
Yeah.
doing great work, and
That's
I think,
it's because they're true to their own personality, really and
yeah,
truly. Like it's not really a gimmicky type of character they're playing. They're playing themselves basically. They're just saying
putting their
what's
own spins on it.
yeah, putting their own spin on it. With the men, you got too many gimmicks for some people.
Well, that's just like Becky Lynch, prime example. She remade herself throughout the course of this last year.
Yeah.
You know, she went from okay, I'm good to I know I'm better to I am the best to now I'm the fucking man. I'm the best there is. Nobody can touch me. You know,
Yeah.
like she did all that in the course of 12 months. And it was at the right moments and right times. And it's crazy because after WrestleMania, I know at least me and you, I'm gonna be honest, we weren't talking about Becky Lynch after WrestleMania last year. We talking about Charlotte and Oscar. Because to us, it was like, okay, fuck, these are 1 and 2. And then the Becky Lynch feud came up, and we was like, fuck, okay,
Yeah.
we have something here.
And
And
she
then it
turned
got better.
heel and stuff, and the
Yeah,
brawl
yeah.
started happening. I was like, oh shit, Becky Lynch
And
is
it
pretty.
and it was crazy because I think Charlotte went from a heel to the baby face all in one smooth transition. They did a fucking double cross. I mean, a double switch.
Yeah.
So it was like, fuck, you rooting for Charlotte, you hate Becky, and then you went from hate Becky to actually liking her. I hate the fact that shit happened at Survivor Series with her and Nia Jax, but I think it helped her so much more because it got her sympathy, and she
Yeah.
went from a heel character to okay, like she's so goddamn hot. Now it doesn't fucking matter, and Charlotte changed again, you know, because Becky did the whole promo on Tuesday night. Hey, I picked Charlotte. She said it. You are the best, and I pick you to represent me in SmackDown to wrestle Ronda Rousey. And fucking Charlotte went from I fought with Becky, I fought with Becky, I fought against Becky, and now I'm fighting for Becky, and it just got a huge ass pop, and
Hmm.
everything has worked. They can do no wrong, and I think because of that, they need to be put at the forefront of that promotion. I and that goes for any promotion. I don't care what it is. It could be Impact Wrestling. It could be AEW if they ever get some women signed. The only woman I know that's affiliated with AEW right now, of course, is Brandy Rose, but I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure that's going to
Britt
change.
Baker. Britt Baker is signed to him as well.
Okay.
She's
Oh
one of the
yeah,
ones that All In.
yeah. No, I'm pretty sure that's gonna change because I know that they recognize some of these women are, dare I say, they may not be at the top of the list, but they're kind of in the running for best in the world. They need to be discussed, you know. And going into that, I mean, let's talk about it. Who do you think are the best women in the world? Let's just, I mean, we could go on and on. Let's do top 10.
Okay. Top 10. Okay. In no particular order. We just doing all over.
Yeah, I ain't gonna order it because we'll fuck around and not get shit accomplished because we're gonna go back and forth.
No, I'm
Maybe
saying
that
like
could be.
different promotions or just all
Yeah.
WWE and NXT.
No. Anything.
Well, I was just gonna go off of who I've been seeing. Of course, the Four Horsewomen that knocks four
Off
out
the
right
top,
there.
yeah, off the top, clearly
Four
off the top.
Horsewomen. Ember Moon. I love Ember Moon.
Uh, I wouldn't put her up there yet. I think that she's in a top 15, top 20 spot, but not top 10. But go ahead, it's your list. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's just ones that I've
Yeah,
watched. I'm not too all familiar with New Japan. If I watch New Japan that much, I mean, of course, we just said we about to get
we
in it.
just starting. Yeah, we
Yeah,
kind
we're
of
just
just
starting to
starting.
get in
So
there. We late. Oh, who cares? But let's see. Of course, Io Shirai, Kyrie Sane, they're good together, but when they're in the singles match, oh my god, oh
it's
my
kind of
god,
quick for Shirai. Now I think she is a future star, but I mean, again, I think give her a year or so, and let's see if NXT moves Kyrie Sane, Shayna Baszler out and start pushing other people. Which I'm pretty sure they're gonna do at some point because they have no choice. They're fucking great. But
yeah.
go on.
Natalia, love Natalia. Okay,
You got three left.
got three left. Say okay. I said the four. Oh shit. Let's see who else. Who else? Who else? You know what? You might disagree with me for this, but quite frankly, there's not really a lot of women that does what she does athletically. She's not as good with promos, and her matches could be. You know, I'm not even gonna put her in there. I was gonna say Naomi, but I'm not even gonna put her in there. Not
I
gonna put
don't.
her in
It's
there.
not that I don't like her. It's just that when you got other people, it's
Yeah.
she's very good, but not. It's just like Mandy Rose and Sonya. They're very good, but they're not best in the world right
Hmm.
today. To me, they're in not top 10. I'll put it like that. Not top
Yeah,
10.
not top
You
10,
gave
but
me a
they're good.
bigger list. Yeah, they're good.
Yeah, not top 10. No, not at all. Not right now.
I can't believe you haven't. I'm about to get upset.
I'm talking about women's wrestlers that's still active today that
No,
I've
I
watched.
know, and I'm just
Alexa
waiting on you.
Bliss is great.
Okay, I'll give you
Oscar.
that. That's the name I was about to get pissed off about.
Oh no. You see, you gotta save the best for last sometimes.
First
You know what
off,
I'm saying?
shout out to her, and I know she'll never we probably will never get her to listen to this, but she liked one of our tweets this week, and that made my whole fucking week. I love her. She's great. I'm glad she's finally getting a real big push. So Oscar, if
Yeah.
you're listening, I love you. We love you. You're great. Keep doing it. Next, last person.
Oh, I still got one more person.
Yeah.
Nia Jax. No, I'm playing. I just said that to
Oh,
fuck
I
with
was
you.
about to just get off. Just fuck. You gonna be looking for another co-host? You put that's just no.
Oh man. No, this is just fun. Man, I would have to say this is a tough decision, but I actually like Tony Storm. I actually like Tony Storm
You
right
know
now.
what? I do too. I really, really do. Ooh. Uh, Again, I think it's kind of soon, but I really do.
Yeah.
But hey, you don't have a bad list. That's your best in the world. It's an opinion thing. I'm gonna go in order, so bear with me. 1A, Becky Lynch. You just off the top. 1B, Charlotte Flair. I know that ain't fair. There's two people, but they are so equally matched. I can't
Hmm.
separate them. They both they both neck and neck. I can't separate them. To me, they're both equally good. This could just as easily be Charlotte Flair in this spot as Becky Lynch right now,
Yeah.
literally. But that's me. 1A, Becky Lynch. 1B, Charlotte Flair. Two, Oscar, without a doubt. God damn it, she may not be a good promo here because of the language barrier, but fuck, the work speaks for itself.
I love when
I
she
don't
speaks
have
in
to say much.
Japanese. I love it.
Yeah, the work speaks for itself. She's fucking great. Again, that finish at Rumble was awesome. I loved it. She actually is really good, and she's not gimmicky or cartoonish. She's the real deal. So to her.
Yeah.
3A, Sasha Banks. 3B, Bailey. Again, you can't separate them. And then they the pioneers of women's tag team wrestling. They should be the first women tag team champion. They also four horsewomen, and there's a reason for that. I can't separate them. They're both contenders. They both can do the damn thing. I like both of them. So those two for me. So those are my first four. From here, it's probably finna get a bit interesting. I think that by skill set and skill level, and because she's an ambassador to women's wrestling today, Natalia. 6, I'll go with Alexa Bliss. 7, Tessa Blanchard. Again, she is fucking impressive. I'm still watching stuff from her because I don't really watch Impact Wrestling, but any match I've seen with her in it is actually the real deal. Uh, what am I on? 8, 7,
Yeah.
7.
7, 7.
7. I'm going to go with, and this I may or may not get. I may or may not get. What's the name for this? I'm gonna go with Shayna Baszler. I may get some heat for that.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
What? Quality of work, she's good.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. I'll
We
give you
talking
that.
about work. Now she getting better with a promo. Like she done went from being god awful on a mic to absolute. Uh, you you can't you can't
I
deny.
say I say like it's submission style and like being like a enforcer. Yeah,
You
definitely.
notice a lot of them actually have submission moves.
Yeah.
Charlotte with the
Yep.
figure 4 and the figure 8. Oscar lock. Becky disarm her. Shayna Baszler, the Kirifuda clutch. Like they all are. When you're a submission master, you're a technical wrestler. That's what this says to
Yeah.
me. So I like that. I think that that's something that's really big. Like most of them have submission moves, and I like that. Chelsea Green, I don't like her gimmick, but I like her work. You do know who Chelsea Green is, right? The Craze Brado shit. She was on All In. She has a split personality.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, Chelsea Green's good. I like Chelsea Green. I got 2 spots left, I believe. 8. Uh, Again, it's so hard. Alexa Bliss, without a doubt, is good. I mean, for her, for what she's been able to do, she's actually really fucking good. It's good to see her back again. She adds some relevancy. That will give me one more. I'm gonna have to do this, and again, she's still relatively new. She's still learning. Time will tell. I'm gonna have to go with Ronda Rousey as my 10th wrestler right now.
Mm. Bold.
Only, but
Bold.
you wouldn't be talking about this if you didn't have name recognition. We're talking, it ain't just the fact that Becky Lynch has been that great, but Ronda has been equally good at making herself look dominant and
Yeah.
doing it. She has the demeanor. Like when she comes out, she legitimately looks like the real deal. And she's
Yeah.
only improving at promoing, and she's only improving at ring work. She's
I
come
like
a
how she
long
trash
way.
talks during the match.
Yeah, she's come a long way from WrestleMania 35. And even the build up to that was awesome. When she
Hmm.
fucking slammed Triple H, I thought that was a great thing to do because it made her look dangerous. It's almost the same thing they're doing with Brock, but better. So I gotta
Better.
give it to her. I think, you know, I think she's underrated because she's still new. Give her a couple years. If she keeps at this in a couple years' time, we may be talking about moving her up to maybe top 5. Who the
Yeah.
fuck knows? So I gotta give it that honorable mention for me: Bianca Belair, Mandy Rose, Sonya Deville. Uh, I like Lacey Evans. I just don't think she's there yet. Same thing with Io Shirai. I don't think she's there yet. Um, who am I missing? Mia Yim, not there yet. I would like to see more of her, but yeah, those are my honorable mentions. Uh, if Paige was still wrestling, she would definitely be in that, but of course she's
Of
not,
course.
and I'm hoping AEW can find something to do with her. She needs to be in the wrestling business. She's still good, you know. But that's my best in the world. I think.
I like that list. I like it. I like it. But yeah, I
Um,
definitely Miss Page was still wrestling.
Now, if you notice on my list, there were six of the eight in the four horsewomen angle. Now, we thought we were gonna get that at WrestleMania,
Mm.
and maybe we getting a version of it with Becky and Ronda. But again, where do they go with this? Are we ever gonna get it? Because at Elimination Chamber, I think it's almost a given you're gonna get Charlotte and Becky one more time.
Yeah, it looks like it looks that way. It does look that way.
Yeah, so where do you go with that?
Oh man, I don't know. That's a tough one. That is a tough one because I mean, really and truly, I I really feel like they want to put Charlotte back on top. That's the feeling I get. I feel like they want to put Charlotte back on top, but they can't. I think that was the original plan, but they didn't expect Becky to get over the way she did.
But she still can be on top, just on SmackDown and not in the fucking main event. I think you would hurt her more by sticking her in there because people would turn on her simply because, and it's not her fucking fault, but simply because they insist on still forcing her in the picture. There's a perfectly good match to be had with Charlotte and Asuka for the title one more time. I think that would get over. Oscar is a main event caliber wrestler. It would be almost the same fucking thing.
You have to you have to put a different stipulation there. You'll have to make it a different match. Like, oh, an Iron Woman match. Oscar and Charlotte for an Iron Woman match. That would be great.
That sounds like a evolution thing to me.
That could be a WrestleMania thing though. WrestleMania is
It
like six
could,
hours anyway. They're not gonna be pressed for time.
right? But again, you not. I don't think right now. Maybe a build up from WrestleMania to the next WrestleMania for it, or fuck, dare I say, if they both WWE Women's Champion and Raw Women's Champion, then Survivor Series. Like that feud, I feel like will never be settled because there always be some legitimate work to be done there because they both competing to be the best. I feel like that's what's usually going on. They're trying to one up each other because it's like I'm the best. No, I'm better. No, I'm better. No, I'm better. You'll never get tired of that. It's almost the same thing as fucking Ric Flair and Dusty Rhodes with their thing. They always went back and forth. Back in the day. I think that would be cool to do. I love the Iron Woman match idea. I'm always willing to push the envelope with women's wrestling. Hell in a Cell, it went off great. Of course, you're not gonna have the super high spots like the men, but still was a great fucking match with her and Sasha Banks, Charlotte and Sasha Banks. The last woman standing match at Evolution tore the house down. That's how you get it done. You know, I like the idea. I just think maybe next year, or maybe Survivor Series, or maybe Evolution this year, if they decide to do that, it wouldn't be a bad thing. Just not right now.
I just wouldn't
Becky
want to
and,
see a
and
regular
Charlotte need to be
match.
separate.
I
No,
just
I
wouldn't want to see a regular
I,
match
I don't
between Charlotte and
disagree.
Oscar.
Oh, why not a submission match?
See, now you think there we go. That's what I'm talking about. It needs a special stipulation for it to really, for me, for it to be more interesting, for it to have, because we saw it last year at WrestleMania, and I would like to see something different, like you just said, the submission match or something. I just need something to make it special.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree. And you can add a level of intrigue to that because hey, I tapped out to, or you tapped out to the figure eight last year.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm gonna make you tap to the Oscar
Oscar
lock,
lock.
and
Yeah,
then who has
put
the
that
better
bridge on her.
submission? Yeah, who has the better submission? And I think you can do a submissions match. And man, you haven't seen a submissions match in a long time. That
Yeah,
would be pretty nice.
yeah,
So, and that's gonna make you do some technical wrestling. I think they got enough in-ring psychology to make that work. With both of them being very technical, I think that would be good. Or an I Quit match or some shit. It's something.
yes, yeah,
So, yeah, no, that I definitely think that. Obviously, we talked about. Do you think there will be another evolution? I think it should.
yep.
Um, I would hope so. I hope that wasn't a one-time event because that was probably the best pay-per-view up to, I guess, Takeover Phoenix, because I thought Royal Rumble was and Survivor Series was fucking awful. The only
Yeah,
good thing about Survivor Series was Charlotte and Ronda Rousey to me. Oh,
yeah.
and Shinsuke Nakamura and
TLC is
Seth
pretty
Rollins.
good. TLC is pretty good.
TLC was, yeah, yeah, it was pretty good, I guess. Maybe Elimination Chamber would be better, but but Evolution to me, the only other shows I would even put in the same breath with Evolution were NXT takeovers.
Takeovers, yeah.
Yeah, like but if we just talking WWE pay-per-views, it's not too many I would put in that same breath from last year. WrestleMania to me wasn't even that great because of the fucking bullshit finishes. So,
Yeah.
I
It was a
mean,
lot of bullshit finishes.
yeah, but
NXT Takeover, of course, we already know NXT Takeover is gonna be better than WrestleMania. Let's just say that. NXT Takeover is already always better than the pay per view the following night.
because it's Women's Wrestling Day, I want to redo a Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler.
Oh, you want to rehatch that?
Yeah, no, I think they should.
I think so too, and I think she should go over this time. That's
Yep.
a good story, man. I like it. I like that program. I like that storyline. I'm really liking it. I'm enjoying it. And
No, I
then
don't disagree.
you have room. The way they ended it with Bianca passing out, it leaves the door open for them to go back again. Well, you didn't really beat me. I passed out. So you like you didn't
Again, it's the
pin me.
same thing with Bret Hart and Austin.
Yeah,
Like that was genius because it didn't make her look weak, and it didn't make Shayna Baszler look bad either.
yeah.
Because I think they want to kind of keep her dominant because they're trying to move her up. Like
Mm,
that was a perfect finish. I liked
yeah.
it. Again, I'm pissed off that they didn't let her go over, but at the same time, maybe they do this time. So, I mean, but man, it's so many women and so much talent, and when you got so much talent, everybody not gonna get a chance. Do you think some women say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna go to somewhere else and try to do my thing and prove I'm one of the best"? I mean, do you think we get women going to AEW? Do you have a theory on some?
I don't really see anybody really being in a position to go somewhere else because I see them all as happy for all the strides they're making. With the women's Royal Rumble, with Evolution. Like I think all of them are happy just to be part of the. I think the women are mentally and morale wise in a better position than the men because
Yeah, yeah.
they're being treated better. They're getting more opportunities, even though they're not getting title matches. They're happy to just be in the Royal Rumble. If you notice, this Royal Rumble, you didn't have any people from the past coming back for the women's Royal Rumble. It was
No, you didn't.
all
You had a
women
lot
from
of
like
future stars
NXT,
and
yeah,
and
and Mae
and,
Young
and
Classic.
present. Hmm.
Yeah, so that more opportunities being brought there. Evolution, that means next time they bring Evolution around, you don't have to worry about anybody from the past coming and stuff. You just have people from Mae Young Classic. They loving the Mae Young Classic. It's just a lot. They're doing a lot with the women, and I think they're in a good position. I can't
You,
really think of
you
anybody
know
that want
what?
to.
You made an interesting point and stuff without branching too far into overall wrestling today. That's true. You didn't see any women legends, but you
Yeah,
did see it in the men. And I think a lot of times when the men kind of hit a slog, you see them bring back somebody that could get a huge pop. Do you see The Rock come back, or you see, Jeff Jarrett in this Royal Rumble, or somebody? You didn't see that, which makes me believe they're saying, man, they're so good right now. We don't need that. We have more than enough with what we have, and that's saying a lot in this moment. Like we got so much, we don't need past stars. But then again, when you think about it, there's maybe only two people or three if AJ Lee ever decided she wanted to come back that you can even put with the women right now because everybody else couldn't get it done like that. And that's Lita,
yeah,
Trish Stratus, AJ Lee.
yeah. No, that makes sense,
So
man.
yeah, I don't think there's a lot of room to just call anybody without making them look terrible in the process. You couldn't call a I don't
Yeah.
know. I'm just throwing a name out there. You couldn't call a Sable and say, "Hey, come back to WrestleMania and wrestle this match with Charlotte." It would look fucking awful because they're not in the same league in that particular category. Again, Sable doesn't consider herself a wrestler, or didn't at that time allegedly. So I mean, it wouldn't be the same. Now, if you said Charlotte come back, or I'm sorry, Trish Stratus come back and wrestle Charlotte, I'd be like, God damn, I want to see that. Or Lita come back and wrestle Becky Lynch, or Lita come back and wrestle, Io Shirai. I would pay great money to see that shit
Me
because
too.
they're equal. You know,
Yeah, very.
it's not the same thing when you call certain people back. So, um, that's a big point. That was a very good point there. I didn't really even look at it like that when I was watching it. I just was like, hey, they're doing a good job at showcasing a lot of future talent and a lot of the present talent. Some people, are kind of right in that middle. They're future stars, but they're also like Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, fucking Lacey Evans. Those are people that you could say, okay, give them 6 months to a year. Maybe we're talking a different talk with them. Carmella, although I know how you feel about her, she's still a great talent.
She is. She is. She could do a real good job of selling and stuff like that. She's charismatic and everything. So yeah, yeah, I'm seeing some good stuff from her. Yeah.
I mean, and they've gotten creative with trying to get some of the other women over with this tag team title thing. What do you think about that? Like, who do you think gonna be the women's tag title champs?
Of course, the Boston Hug connection. I mean, it's pretty much
Yeah,
written on the wall.
I think it's only fair. You wouldn't even have tag team wrestling
Yeah.
right now if it wasn't for them. Remember when they had Alexa Bliss kind of doing that goddamn uh Piper's Pit type of segment at one point, and she did it with Sasha Banks and Bailey, and they said their goal would be the first women's tag team champion.
Yeah. Moment of bliss. Yep.
Yeah, that fucking that said it, and from there, all of a sudden, you started seeing women tag teams rising up. Of course, you got Tamina and Nia Jax. You saw that. The Ilconics. You saw that. Of course, there's the Riot Squad. They're kind of a stable. So you got a
Hey.
tag team there. Like you're seeing a lot of Io Shirai and Kairi Sane may be one that's up and coming because now they're putting them together on NXT. I'd love to see an NXT women's tag division. You know, so they're
Yeah, I
finding
love them.
creative ways to get other women. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville are kind of a tag team, and they hang together pretty hard. Like you're starting to see them group people together or whatnot, and then I think from that they could grow talent and say, "God damn, you're so good. We're gonna break this tag team up and push you into the next level." But yeah, I'm like you. I think it's only fair. It's the Boston Hug connection. If they don't do that I don't know what the fuck is going on. It needs to be them, and
I
it's
don't
gonna
disagree at all. I don't
it's
disagree at
gonna
all.
add some. First off, it's gonna make them relevant because they've been the best working tag team for women for a while now. Like when they wrestle, you can tell they know what the fuck they're doing. That would make a lot of sense. I mean, it's gonna make them relevant, and I would give them a nice little run out of it. Maybe run them all the way through from WrestleMania to WrestleMania, and then take them off of them, and that'll give you a whole year to keep them relevant, put them on pay-per-views and all that shit, and then remove them at that point.
Yeah, yeah, no, I understand. I get it. I get you.
Because if you give them to say a Nia Jackson to Mina, what the fuck?
Yeah. So you can't. You cannot. You can't give it to
Yeah,
them.
yeah. I tell you what, I don't know if are they still in it. Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville still in it. I wouldn't be mad about that if they're still in the damn thing to go.
No, I think so. I think so. I think
Yeah,
they are.
that would be okay because they'll give it some credence, not as much as two of the four horsewomen holding it, but it still means something.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No, yeah,
yeah,
he'll be no.
yeah, no, I'm excited about that. I think that's gonna play out at Elimination Chamber before WrestleMania, if I'm not mistaken. They'll have the finals there.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, that I'm excited about that. I think that's a very creative way. I'm wondering if that was a Triple H idea. But whoever it was is pretty goddamn. It's pretty smart. I'm very happy. I've been asking for that for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Um, hell, I don't know, man. At this point, who's next? Who do you think is the next big thing? I mean, of course, we know Becky Lynch right now in Charlotte, but then you got so much you could do with so many people. Like, do you see anybody that stands out that you like? She's next. Like, I can see her being the it person.
Oh, Bianca Belair.
I was gonna say Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair, without a doubt. She
Yeah,
got something.
and everybody can see it. You know, everybody can see it. So yeah, I definitely say her.
She's number one on my list. Again, I keep preaching on them. I think Sonya Deville. I think Sonya Deville. I know I saw something on Twitter that said they should bring Paige back as a manager, like a mouthpiece
Like she was
for
doing
one.
before. Yeah, for
Right,
them.
for somebody. I said put her with Sonya Deville because Sonya Deville has the persona to be a badass. She's probably the hardest hitting women's wrestler in the WWE.
Yeah.
If they take her and fucking put her with Paige, let Paige be her talker, and she just stand there, but she's dominant and everything else, that will get her over. I think, and she will probably be a great heel for the women's division. And you need to put the belt on her. Sonya Deville is she's somebody I'm super high on right now. As far as like we're talking next star. So when people say, "Oh, you're not talking about Alexa Bliss or Bailey or Sasha or any," they're already stars. We're talking about people that are right on the
Yeah.
cusp that need to
Yeah.
be. I like Lacey Evans. I think
Um, Lacey.
the chick that was the
Oh
Middle
yeah, I know
Middle
her.
Earth. Yeah.
I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know.
I liked her in the Rumble, and maybe that's why I'm a little high on her. But we both finna say this. Tony Storm.
No, I agree. I agree. I agree.
Okay. Yeah. Tony Storm. Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
Liv Morgan.
No.
Really?
I don't really see it with her. She don't really
She.
do anything for me.
Oh, Ember Moon.
Of course.
I think Ember Moon before Bianca Belair, to be honest with you.
I think so too. I would too. I definitely would too.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think I would love to see her lock up with Becky and she get over because she's very good. Hell, she was good in NXT. I think that's what started Shayna Baszler to being what she is because the matches that they had were great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Um,
get you.
and speaking of, I know you ain't gonna like this, Shayna Baszler.
She could. She could. You know. She could.
She's another one. You put some give. I think she's good in the ring. She's not good, and I won't say she's not good, but she's still developing outside of it. So her segments, her promos, they need some work. Now that video they did leading up to that match against Bianca Belair at Takeover, when she did that little montage talking video, that was actually pretty goddamn good. She was great in that. But I need that to translate to the ring on a more consistent basis when she does a promo. But her ring work, as far as her wrestling ability, she's very
Hello.
technical. She's very sound. Hell, that's those all of them are stars. Last but not least, I'm asking for a lot. Tessa Blanchard, if you please come to WWE. Like I think that would shake things up.
She just need better competition than what she getting at TNA. Well, Impact.
So yeah, no, yeah, it's but overall, man, again, I like the direction it's going in. I like everything about it. I think that it's gonna be awesome for the next 12 months to see what they do and who steps up and who does become real big and everything else. I mean, hell, again, we start at WrestleMania because Becky Lynch and Ronda should headline WrestleMania. And I think from there, it's just going to get better and better. I mean, man, we covered a lot, on this episode. And it's not as long as the ones we normally do, but it still had a lot of substance to it. You know, this is something we always talk about, and it's cool to kind of give that a chance and really push that out. It's been a blast this episode. Again, keep tuning in, keep checking us out, and I mean, we'll be pushing out more episodes and everything else about all things wrestling. We're gonna get into some NJPW eventually. We
Definitely.
gotta we have to catch up. There's a lot to catch up on, but we will get there, folks. But I that's pretty much it. And
Give
until
us that
next time,
feedback.
yeah, no, definitely. We want to hear your feedback, comments. If we missed something or missed anybody, again, we covered almost 20 some odd years of
Man,
women's wrestling today. So if we
quickly.
missed something, yeah, quickly. So if we missed something, like definitely let us know. I mean, we always up to debate and talk wrestling. Everybody's not gonna have the same views. We understand that. We're just fans. We're not experts, and I mean, we like to hear from other people.
We do.
But man, without further ado,